In today's video, a common problem suffered by Old West gunslingers, outlaws and Indians: floppy joint syndrome. Okay, so as we can see, Tonto here is in fairly good condition for his age, but he's suffering from floppy arm syndrome. It's particularly more noticeable in Tonto figures due to the outfit being that much more stiff, and if you've got any kind of floppiness going on, it really does show up in Tonto. This one's got a good left arm. He's a bit weak in the right. We've got another Tonto, Tonto's brother, Tonto. He's not too bad in the right. He's a bit weak in the left. And their good friend, Red Sleeves, he's okay. He's got a bit of a left arm floppiness going on. You can't see that, can you? For fuck's sake! It's not as bad because he's wearing this thin shirt, but it is and feels worn. So what can we do about it? Well, we've got some magic fluid. This one's called Joint Fixer, and this one's called Joint Repair, and they're both exactly the same. And they're absolutely nothing to do with joint repairs, but it works. So we'll put one of these to one side. Now it's a bit of a messy process, so we're probably going to need to go and get ourselves some cloth or some kitchen roll or something just to mop up the residue. It's an easy fix, but it's a little bit long-winded. Not in the fact of what you have to do is long-winded, but with the joints on these guys. Let's see if we can we undress Tonto on camera? Does he even want to be undressed on camera? I don't really know. It's probably a little bit weird for him. You don't want to break anything else. So take your guns off this one, Tonto, I'm afraid, old son. Put your little top off. There we are. Gotta be a little bit careful with these clothes because this is a decent set and they are a little bit delicate. They're all a bit delicate. They're made to fit. Oh shit, that's just ripped that bit off. These tassely bits are not very well attached. Anyway, let's get his, there we go, tops off. It's a bit messy, so I think we'll do the full Monty with old Tonto here. Sorry dude, you have to go naked for this one. And there he is. Okay, so we're back. We've got a bit of kitchen roll, some of our joint fixer. Now, how does this work? It's fairly simple. Tonto's arm, there, as you can see, is very floppy. The type of joint it is, this ball socket. Even with this, it doesn't stiffen up quickly. So what we need to do, place the tissue And we're going to just drip some of this into the join, all on this ball socket, get it right in there, soak it right on in. Now you don't want too much of this as a rule, because it takes a while to dry. The more you put in, the longer it takes to dry. Now we need to work it all the way in, so we're just going to do this. It's not going to be an instant fix. But we'll work it in. All it's going to do is it's going to coat this plastic here with a sort of a lacquer. Just dry it a little bit, work it in. So we're going to be working this in today for a few minutes. And we need to, how can we mark Tonto so that you can see that he's the same one? I don't really like doing this, but I'll give him a little tattoo number 1 with a Sharpie. We should be able to get that off with a bit of denatured alcohol, or even some isopropyl at a later date, hopefully. Otherwise I've just ruined a Tonto. We keep running this stuff in. We want this to get right inside this join here. It's going to take several days to dry out probably. You just work it in. We just want to give it a good coat over all the surfaces. Now it's unlikely that it will do anything for this rotary motion, but it will make this bit much more usable. Okay, so let's have a look at his other arm. So the other arm's quite good already. A bit inside there. There we go. Work that in. And like I say, this isn't going to be a quick fix. Legs are okay, knee joints are okay, ankles a bit floppy. Give the ankles a bit of going over. Stick plenty in. You want a nice bit of tissue under this, because this stuff is quite sticky. Just give that a good work in on each foot. There we go. Right, let's get a new bit of tissue. Okay, so Tonto number 1, there he is. Still got a bit of a floppy arm, but we'll leave that to dry. This may take several days, and we'll come back to him. This is Tonto number 2. Right arm's okay, left arm's a bit wimpy, feet are okay. See if we can get him off without ripping his clothes to bits. And surprisingly, you know, I was skeptical myself that it does actually work. It's nothing special. The fluid itself is quite expensive for what it is, but you do get rather a lot of it, way more than I'll ever need. Probably never have to buy the stuff again. If you're wondering what it is, I'll let you into the secret at the end of the video. So stick around to find out where you can get yours. This is proving to be a little more complicated than I'd anticipated for on camera. But there we go. Come on, Tonto, give us your fucking clothes off there, boy. It's because he's got the drawstring. Head doesn't want to fit through, does it? Don't actually need it to, I suppose. This could be his. Just need his arm. There we go. We'll leave that on. So Tonto number 2's got his clothes around his head. We'll give him 2 dots on the chest there, just in case. And we'll give his arm a bit of a soaking. This one's more of a rotary problem than the other one's floppiness, but work it in. Make sure you work it in well. Now, if you do this on like the 3.5-inch Star Wars figures, you can feel this tightening up straight away, more or less, if you don't put too much fluid in. And the point of this is you only want the tiniest amount of fluid, because most of it runs out anyway, goes all over your man. But the quicker it dries out, the sooner you'll feel the resistance starting to build up. And you can sort of see a little bit of an improvement. Work that in. And like I say, this is better for the arm movements that work in this plane than it is for the rotary. It will help with the rotary, but it will never be perfect. Just keep working that in. You need to get it right into the joint. There's a peg assembly. And you need to get this right down in there. Try and tighten up the rotary motion. We're trying to get to a piece that's in here. And what we're going to do, wipe up the excess, put Tonto to one side, and bring in red sleeves. What's red sleeves? He's not so bad. He's got a bit of rotator cuff problem going on. Oh, red sleeves. You can use this on any of the joints, whether it be hands that are a bit floppy, legs, knees, ankles, whatever. There we go, there's red sleeves. Now we'll be able to tell which one he is because he's the only one I've got with this green face thing going on. Okay, so we're back in the room. It's been what, about 24 hours since we recorded the first part of the video. The tissue has gone very crusty, as you can see. There we go, look at that, it's gone well out of the way. There's the miracle fixer. So let's see what's happened to these figures. So here's Tonto, number 1, still got the number 1 on his chest. It was his right arm, I believe, that was floppy as a floppy thing. And now we've got a reasonable amount. It still wants to dry a little bit, that one, but it's getting there. It does take, I mean, I've seen this used, this technique, on the little 3.5-inch figures with the smaller joints, and it does do up tighten up the joint quite quickly. It dries out quite quickly, and obviously the more you put on, the worse the time wait is. But we're just going to throw some clothes on Tonto here, just to demonstrate. Sorry Tonto, I twisted your leg off there, mate. Well, here we go. We'll wreck anything. Already ripped his shirt, getting him out of it. There we go, I'll have to stitch that back on in a bit. Anyway, so we've got a top. Now if you remember, when Tonto, let's see, Tonto, when his arm was put up in his shirt on, oh, it's getting better. It used to just go boom, straight down. It probably needs a bit longer to dry. Maybe even a second coat. It's not a perfect fix. When it dries, when it dries out, it is quite good. Most of the figures I've got, I've done this on. So number 2, you can see he's got the 2 dots that we made yesterday, and his arms. I think he had a bit of a floppy doppy on that way, didn't he? And there we go. You see that? That's not bad. That one's quite good. Red sleeves. Now, I can't remember now. I think he had a bit of a loose elbow in the. That's not bad, is it? We're getting there. These will dry out over the next week or so and become, just want to move them every now and again, will become much stiffer, and then the solution goes a bit more, it goes a bit harder, and it's called Joint Fixer. No, it's not really. What it actually is, and it's maybe a bit of a surprise, and you may already know, but this is Pledge Revive It floor gloss, and it's used to make laminate flooring look good again. And obviously you get a fairly large bottle. What's this? It's about 800 mils, so this is going to last probably forever for what I'm doing. Now this is this product has been replaced. The original product that I saw used was by Pledge, and it was called, I don't know, I'll have to look that up and put a caption, I can't remember. And this is the nearest I could find in the modern lineup. Well, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. It does. I think the original was probably a little bit better, but this works. So give it a go. Where can you get it from? Well, I tried all the usual places like Tesco's and Morrison's and whatever, and didn't really have a lot of luck. I'm guessing that maybe somewhere like Wicks's might have it, or B&Q possibly, some DIY shop. I got this, I can't remember if I got this off eBay or Amazon. It was about 12 quid, so it's not cheap for what it is, but for the amount that you get and the time it's going to last, it's not bad. There is a product that you can buy on eBay, and I forget what it's called, but it's something along the lines of Fix It or something like that. It comes from China, and it's probably just this in a squirty bottle. I mean, I put this in this little squirty bottle that I got off of, I think it was off eBay, like 10 for a quid or something stupid like that. They've got a little needle in the top. They're for art, paint, whatever, mixed paint, and then you glob it on. Yeah, it works for what I want to use it for. Like I say, I've done several figures now. I don't know if I've got one handy, where they I normally put them on top of my computer where the heat fan is that takes the heat off the processor, just to give them a little bit of a better dry, especially in the winter months. But yeah, just sit them somewhere. I mean, you can see Tonto's arm's getting better all the time. Before it used to just flop down. If you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see how bad it was. And these clothes don't help because they're quite stiff. Like your normal shirts for Butch Cavendish, whatever, they are not anywhere near as tough as these shirts. And these will, look at that, ripped that off there yesterday. Idiot. Got plenty more of these shirts, so I can probably either fix this one or put a new one on him. But anyway, Tonto's arms are a little bit better. Going to need a little bit more drying time on this one, I think. To be fair, we might even douse him again. And these are, I guarantee you 100%, these are the same figures that I put the juice into yesterday. I've got no reason to, whoopsie, got no reason to bullshit. You know, it's, you've seen me thing, you've seen the result. I'll give him another, I think I'll give him a bit more of a dose up in that arm. You kind of really need to get it in here. This is just like this restorer, just gives a coat into your floor. See that that's loosened right off now. He's got some more fluid in him. So once that, it's now acting like a lubricant. Dry that off. I'll leave it on there. It's really bloody sticky. Maybe in another video we'll get this Tonto out again, just see how he's shaping up. So there it is, just to prove that this is Pledge Floor Restorer Revive It. I'll top the bottle up just so you can see that I'm putting this in here, because it's going to be, blimey, glued the lid on. There we go. It's going to be somebody who's let's say I'm pretending that it's going to go everywhere, isn't it? Where's my little funnel? Let's put the little tissue under there. Someone's going to want to try and claim that I've made it up. But there we go. So yeah, it's topped up. So if it wasn't this in the first place, it is now. Whatever pretend fluid that I had in there is now mixed with Pledge Floor Reviver. Now there are other videos out there. Toypoloi, I think, did one. Look that up. I might even put a link to it. He uses a different fluid, which you can still get from the US, but for the cost, this works just as well. Maybe the other one works better. I'm not entirely certain. Oh yeah, it's got a bit floppy. But there you go. Simple fix. And it works on. I've used it on feet. I've used it on hands. Oh blimey, I've used it on his feet. Yeah, look, if you leave it and don't move it for a couple of days, what happens is you'll probably get it go when you move it. But I've done it on his feet because he wouldn't even stand up, and now they've got a nice amount of friction. Over time this will scratch off, the same as the plastic, but I mean generally I've got no plans to use these as toys. They'll go into a display of some description at some point, and they will never move again probably, so they'll probably set. But anyway, if you like the video, subscribe, thumbs up, bell, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you again. See you later.